The first weekend of April sees hundreds of runners and walkers, including me, head to the Shropshire Hills to take part in the Shropshire Way 80k festival. We get to enjoy the wonderful food, history, landscape of this beautiful area of the British Isles while testing our endurance to the limit. The charity, Clun, who organise it, are all about local food, so we get to enjoy Fidget Pies, beef stew served in a barn high in the hills, local cheeses, sausages and delicious homemade Bara Brith. There's even a breakfast waiting us at the end too.
We're at the start of the Shropshire Way 80k. This is going to be my longest ever run. Came down last night and camped in a field just a little short distance away from the start. Not wild camping this time, it is actually organised. Came down in the train. So yeah, let's see how my legs stand up to doing 80k or 50 miles.
You want to be double checking you've definitely got your maps, GPS sorted, everything's still attached to you. You haven't lost anything inside that you're going to need along the route. If anybody needs a final toilet run, now's your opportunity.
So you can see everybody ready to start behind me. Nerves are kicking in. Really not sure about how my legs are going to cope with this, how everything's going to cope with it fundamentally. Furthest I've done before is the Coventry Way, which is actually tomorrow. I won't be doing that, but that's 40 miles, so this will be the furthest run I've done to date. And it's some fairly hilly terrain as well, 2,500 metres. So stick with me, let's see whether I manage to complete it. And we're on our way. After a first couple of sticky points when you're trying to squeeze through gates and stiles to get going, opened out into a nice field, and we're able to start trotting along. See how long we can keep trotting for. We've had the nice easy flat bit. It's now time to start climbing, and it's rather muddy still underfoot, so it's more like a climb 2, slip 1, but good fun, he says. We're still climbing, but we've done the worst of the climbing. Quite the mud doesn't half make things interesting. Run into one of the fields back there. It was like glue attached to the bottom of your feet. But the scenery is spectacular, so makes up for all the hard work. You've got the forests dank and gloomy on my side, and you've got the smell of wild onion pervading the air. Incredible. It's amazing being up early like this as well. When I first got up, the birds were singing, mist lying low over the fields and on the hills. Something magical about being outdoors and in conditions like this. The path has flattened out, which means I've got no excuse to carry on walking. It's time to start trotting along again. On the flats, on the downhills, walk the uphills, or certainly at this stage in the run. By the time I get a bit further on, I might be walking a lot more than I'm running. First checkpoint marked off, done the dibby thing, and now we're descending down some rather claggy mud, so we're not really able to make the most of the descent in terms of running it. We've completed what was a rather treacherous downhill descent. Sometimes it felt more like skiing than running, and mostly just desperately trying not to fall onto your backside. Now walking through a field where I can't see anything because, to be honest, the crop is so high either side of me. Up ahead of us, you can see the hill looming out the mist that we're about to climb up. I've done this before on the marathon distance. It's hard, really tough. So it'll definitely be a walking section, more like a scrambling, crawling section, possibly in places, or climbing that hill that I showed you. It is steep, but I have a sneaky suspicion coming down is going to be even harder than climbing up, to make sure I don't end up on my backside most of the way down. Cool, this is tough. Checkpoint 2 done, and now I have to go straight back down. That's what's really cruel about this particular hill, is they just make us come up here, tag a trig point, and then head straight back down again. So, off we go. That's the first checkpoint complete. Bit of sausage to keep me going as I start my way off. So that's Little Stretton. Up ahead of us we can see the Long Mynd, which a bit more climbing involved. Let's keep trotting. Up we go. Bit of a climb. What a beautiful landscape round about us. Climbing up the Long Mynd. It's an area I'm quite familiar with, but this particular climb I've not done before. When I've done the Mammothon, we've gone a slightly different route, so I'm now on a new route that I'm not prepared for, but it's equally steep climbing up, no difference there. But I love the bracken colour at this time of year. Rolling hills spread around me to distract me from the pain in my legs and the breathless lungs. So I just reached the top of the Long Mynd and seen the trig point, which I know well from doing Denzel's events. How hard can it be? Piece of cake, all of those along here. So I recognise this bit of landscape well, and it's about as it normally is, foggy and can't see a thing, and playing a hoolie. So on we go. As you can tell, the weather has changed. The grey mist has disappeared, and we've even got blue sky to enjoy. I wasn't expecting that. We dropped down off the Long Mynd and now climbing back up from the valley below that. And yeah, at the moment the legs are still keeping moving, though definitely starting to feel the first signs of weariness in them as we climb up. But it's absolutely beautiful out. We've seen ponies, enjoying the sights and sounds, and just the beauty of the sun on the landscape now, making all those shadows. Next stop, Stones up ahead, so looking forward to that, and then Fidget Pie I think at the next major checkpoint, which is really tasty. We've just done checkpoint number 5, which is at the Stone summit. You can see the Stones there behind me. The views from up here are absolutely fabulous, though it is slightly uneven underfoot, so I have to be slightly careful where I'm walking as I'm talking to you now. But retracing our steps back down off the summit now, and back down to the valley, and I think our next checkpoint is another food checkpoint, so looking forward to that. If you've not been into the Shropshire Hills, then do come and explore. You may not want to do a 50-mile event around them, but do just come up here and explore. It's fabulous, beautiful landscape to explore and enjoy, and some great foodie places as well, which I'm looking forward to later. So we've just done checkpoint 6, picked up our Fidget Pie, and now I think I have to climb back up again a bit. So time to eat my pie as I climb up the hill. So after enjoying our pies and a little bit of a climb up from there, we've then had a long descent, which has been interesting in places, running through gorse. I now have multiple gorse prickles stuck in my leggings. Slightly uncomfortable, but nice descent, which I can definitely feel in my legs as I'm coming down here when I ease off, and it's been quite slushy underfoot as well. But back to some more woodland, and by the look of it, a bit of climbing to do up ahead, so I think that'll be the end of the trotting and back down to hiking. We're just traversing a ridge at the moment, and the landscape is just spread out on either side of us. Absolutely fabulous, and it's so good the clouds lifted, so we've got the views that I was worried we might not have today, and it's the views that make being up here so special. Rolling mountain after mountain, forestry, some of the old, I think, mine workings that you can see in one or two places. Yeah, just spectacular. At last, we're actually getting the benefit of some uphill with some nice gentle downhill, which is reasonably dry underfoot. So we're actually able to gently trot down the hill, nice and steady, and enjoy the views as we do so without worrying about going base over apex and ending up on our backside in the mud. The magic number has just been reached, 25 miles completed. We're halfway. What it has also made me realise is though, is that 50 miles is a very long way to run, walk, complete when you're not on a bike. I'm used to doing 50 miles plus on a bike. Doddle. 50 miles running, walking, slightly more challenging. So yeah, halfway, and we've been going for 7 hours. So yeah, going to be well over 14 hours out on our feet by the time we get back to the finish. It will be dark, but we're okay, we've got torches with us. For the moment though, the sun is shining, but there are a few black clouds gathering, and the weather is perfect for this type of event, and we're making the most of it. Just done checkpoint in Bishop's Castle, stocked up on some little mini eggs, some prawn cocktail crisps, and of course refueled my drink bottles. Now just descending down what's a really lovely little high street here, and next we've got some, I'm assuming, some more climbing to do at some point, but at the moment, nice steady downhill. One thing I wasn't expecting for today, as the forecast had been viewed in the week leading up to this, was weather like this. I'm actually hot. I could do with being wearing t-shirt and shorts right now, not in leggings and a long sleeve top. It's absolutely beautiful. The sun is shining, and yeah, absolutely delightful. Very wet still underfoot, obviously hasn't had the chance to dry out all of that. I daren't take my shoes off, to be honest. I've got some dry socks with me, but I'm more worried about what state my feet will be in if I try to peel the socks off that I've currently got on. I've got a gentle downhill ahead of me, so really, I guess I've got no excuse. It's time for a gentle trot. Let's see if I can persuade my legs to get moving and see if they can propel us forward with a bit more alacrity. Just ticked off 30 miles, just 20 miles to go now, just 20. Does funny things to your mind, this running light does. My legs, I think, have gone on strike a bit though from the whole concept of running. They don't mind walking, but when I talk to them about running, they go, no thank you, and let's just stick to what we're doing. So we're just yomping along. You can see the sunlight chasing across the fields and the daffodils by the side of the path. Lovely springtime walk. The negotiators have been at work and my legs have decided to start running again. Nice steady downhill road run, but nice to get a bit more pace going for a little bit. The landscape to my right is just green, pleasant rolling hills. Very different landscape from the Long Mynd. This is very much a sort of farmland influenced fields and just looking green and rolling. And we're at the Reef Top checkpoint. Proper little cafe going on at checkpoint 8. Beef stew, Coca-Cola, maybe a coffee to go as well. Fantastic checkpoint that was, a little proper cafe. And I've got a cup of tea. Now, if you remember from the Snowdonia Marathon, this is the only time I drink tea. Seems to be when I'm out on a run. So, hot sweet cup of tea it is. We've just done checkpoint 9. Turn left. There's a junction with Offa's Dyke Path. Sun dappling through the trees as we do a rather vicious ascent. It's a nice, steady, gentle path that we've been doing for the last, pretty much since the last checkpoint. All of a sudden it turns nasty. Little steaming for us. We're 36 miles in, from just over. Still absolutely beautiful. It's starting to come towards that evening light which over the hills, which just looks absolutely fabulous. So yeah, absolutely loving my time up here still. I may not be going as fast as I perhaps would like, but I'm still doing the distance and, you know, get more chance to enjoy the views. So what's not to enjoy? And say hello to the sheep. Lovely chats with people as I've been going along as well. It's one of the nice things about trail running. You just end up with different people, having a chat and enjoying your time on the trails together. We're just coming into Clun, which is our next checkpoint. Over there on my right you can see Clun Castle. Very much got that evening light now, golden hour. Got less than half a marathon to do, which is good because I think, yeah, I'm just starting to feel a little weary. To use Iona's word from parkrun the other week, I'm feeling a bit discombobulated, but I know I can always do a half marathon. So just got to keep moving along. Another cafe. Tomato soup at this one.
another cup of tea. That's been more tea drunk in this year than I've drunk in years. Charging my watch because my battery's starting to complain a bit. Hope that my legs can actually start moving again when we finish here. Well, that's it. The last checkpoint with refreshments is done. I've got a couple of self-clip ones to do. Now it's just about trying to persuade the legs to do the last just over 10 miles to the finish. They are definitely complaining, just walking back down this hill to get back onto the route. They're going, ooh, what are you doing to us? And it's definitely got cooler and dimmer while we've been in there. That checkpoint was quite cruel because basically, a little diversion off the main route, downhill into the bottom, back up to the checkpoint, back down the hill, back up to the top. Cheers. But at least it means you've got to see this lovely little place.
41 miles just ticked over on my watch. Now officially on the longest challenge I've ever done on 2 feet. The sun is just starting to set, casting a beautiful golden glow over the fields and the trees. And the good news is, with 41 miles done, it means less than 10 miles to go. Wow, what a beautiful evening. Hopefully you can hear the birds singing. Absolutely delightful. That last checkpoint did me the world of good actually. I may have stayed there a bit longer than I wanted to, and my legs did freeze up a little bit, but I think I was suffering a bit from underfueling or perhaps a lack of salt in the last couple of miles before that. Starting to feel a bit a bowl of soup, packet of crisps, a bit of Bara Brith certainly recharged the batteries and feeling loads better as a result, which I am very thankful. It's so great the volunteers out all working for the charity that puts this event on. It's all about food and place, so about local foods and a local place that they're from. And yeah, they've been so friendly, so supportive as we come round to just really make this event special and something to enjoy. And it's really great value as well, considering how much food we get as we're going round. They really look after us. As you can tell by the fact you really can't see anything probably on this camera right now, it's getting dark. I haven't put my light on yet because for me I prefer to keep my night vision for as long as possible. As soon as you put your torch on you lose that sort of overall view of what's going on. But yeah, we're definitely in the gloom now of the evening, just coming up to 44 miles completed, just 10k then to go. We're back in Craven Arms and I am so relieved. Mile more on my Garmin. That last mile was tough. In fact, the last few miles are tough, just through muddy fields, just splooshing through water. It just wasn't what you needed at the end of the run, but we've made it. Here's the Discovery Centre. Hope you've enjoyed this adventure. To give me a bit of reward for completing 51 miles, then I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe and like button. But let's get to that finish and get my certificate, get my final stamp on the card, and get something to eat and a hot sweet drink of something, I think.
Just beaten 16 hours, I'm pleased to say. I'm giving you 15:56.
Well, I'm back. It's completed. Enjoying my second cup of tea once I got back. So, new record. Not only have I done more steps than I've ever done in a day, gone further than I've ever done in a day, I've also drunk more cups of tea today than I think I've ever done in a day. But no, completed it. Med around my neck. Certificate to prove I did it. Managed it in just a shade under 16 hours. A bit slower than I was hoping, but I'm pleased to just have got that many miles in my legs and to actually have got round. Relieved to be here. Now I've just got to get the last little bit back to my tent and hopefully get a comfortable night's sleep, even if it is in a tent. Hopefully I'm so tired that I won't care. Well, it's the morning after the day before. The legs, the feet, ooh. But it's a beautiful morning. The tent is struck, loaded up in my rucksack. Now I just need to find somewhere to get some breakfast and
then go and catch my train home. But as you can probably tell, I'm walking not in the most smooth of fashion, shall we say, but it's absolutely beautiful this morning. The birds singing lovely, blossom on the trees, daffodils in the hedgerows. Delightful. Just refueled at the rather excellent Layla's Cafe just down from the train station. Helpfully on the way to the train station, so I didn't have to walk any extra distance, something my legs definitely don't want to do this morning. Bit of a train journey trek to do now. I think there's a bus replacements on bits of it, so it's going to take a little while, but not far to walk now from here to the train station. Hopefully my legs will just about manage it, and I'm hoping there's not too many steps to climb to get to the platform I need to get to. Well, the journey home is almost over. Bus replacement service to get me from Birmingham's National to here, but now picked up my bike, just a mile and a half to coax the legs round to get me back home. Beautiful sunny afternoon, so not too much of a hardship, at least it's not pouring with rain. Hope you've enjoyed the adventure. Do subscribe and like it if you have, and hopefully see you on another little adventure soon. Bye!